They have an intention to pay me a good amount of money.
Okay. And so why didn't you accept?
First, I didn't. I don't know. It was so confusing. I didn't know what was going on. Well, fight. They're gonna step in the octagon. That's what in the ring.
The ring, yes.
That's what's gonna happen.
No, I know.
Fight.
But who do you think wins? What do you think actually happens in the fight?
I think AJ win. I mean, do you think otherwise?
Do you think you're gonna knock him out?
Yeah, 100%. I see holes in his game of where I can land a big shot.
Okay.
100%. It's going to be a very, 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 very tough fight.
Do you think this is your hardest opponent?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man.
The man who has himself been through Anthony Joshua's chaotic knockouts has revealed his prediction for Joshua's next fight against Jake Paul. Francis Ngannou was one of the few fighters approached by Jake Paul's team after Paul's scheduled fight against Gervonta Tank Davis was cancelled in November. However, Ngannou chose not to accept the offer, prompting Paul's team to shift their focus to a matchup with Anthony Joshua. Speaking about the situation, Ngannou explained his reasons for declining the fight, emphasizing his priorities and timing in the sport.
I mean, Nikisa reached out and then was telling me that Gervonta Davis is having some situation, so he's not going to be in the fight anymore, and they are looking for a replacement. And then they thought about me. I'm like, me? How? And I'm like, yeah, me to fight Jake Paul. I'm like, I was very confused. Like, how come you guys go from Jake Paul to from Gervonta Davis to me? And it was quite confusing. I didn't even believe that.
When Ariel Helwani asked Ngannou if Jake Paul's team had offered him money to take the fight, Ngannou's response hinted at a surprising offer, enough to make fans wonder just how serious the proposal really was and why he ultimately passed on it.
Did he ever even offer you amount of money to fight him?
Let's say he was ready to pay.
Okay.
I didn't talk money. I personally didn't talk money, but he was ready to pay. He said even if the money is right.
Was it a good offer that you think he had for you?
Which offer? I didn't tell you that he gave me an offer.
Okay, so he never even hinted that it would be in the ballpark of this fight or that fight. You had no idea if they wanted to pay you $5 or $50 million.
They have an intention to pay me a good amount of money.
When asked how he saw the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight playing out, Ngannou confidently hinted at an outcome in Joshua's favor, but he quickly raised an intriguing question. Why exactly is Paul taking this fight? Ngannou suggested there might be some hidden strategy or motive behind Paul stepping up to face a fighter of Joshua's caliber, leaving fans wondering what surprises Paul could have planned, even if, in Ngannou's view, Joshua still looks set to dominate.
I think AJ win. I mean, do you think otherwise?
Well, do you think, I think there's a lot of people who think he's going to knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I would say so. But why exactly Jake Paul took that fight? That's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
What is his strategy?
Darren Till has weighed in on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, and his comments are already turning heads. The former UFC star seemed baffled by Paul stepping into the ring with a heavyweight like Joshua, hinting that Paul may have seriously underestimated the challenge. Till, someone who knows the ins and outs of high-level fighting, also revealed just how powerful Joshua looked in sparring sessions, enough to raise eyebrows and make fans wonder if Paul is in for the fight of his life.
It's baffling me because I'm 20 years in the game now, and I've always prided myself as a technical striker, and I know a hell of a lot about the fight game. I know the ins and outs of it, especially in MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and I mean, I don't think I'd fight Anthony Joshua. So, is he delusional? Is it some exhibition? Is it like under the table? Yeah, just take care of me. I don't know. So. Big balls for Jake for stepping in, but there's got to be something to it, hasn't there? Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest, strongest heavyweights out there. I've sparred a few heavyweights who come down the gym, One was being a guy called the War Chief. He was massive. He looked like John Coffey from Game Island.
Darren Till believes Jake Paul is in serious trouble, predicting that Joshua will bring his full power back, recalling just how dominant Joshua looked in sparring, so much that Till himself never imagined facing him in real life. He feels Paul is in for a harsh reality check. With fans eager to see Jake Paul's rise come to an end, Till thinks this is exactly the moment for Joshua to shut him down once and for all.
It just, I don't know, I don't know what to say. Jake could get fucking killed in there. Because I ain't afraid of nothing. I ain't afraid of nothing, really. You know, it takes a lot for me to be afraid. I'm for a fight, I'm right up for it. You come to me with Anthony Joshua, unless you're giving me 20 mil or something, 10 mil, I don't think I'm accepting it. It's fucking, you know, I sparred for the most part of my career to Aspinall, and I don't think he punches nowhere near as hard as Anthony Joshua. And every day I used to have to go in and spar him, I'd be like, here we go again. Like, I just don't want to do this, but I just can't wait. Let's see what happens.
Not far behind, Derek Chisora shared his own bold prediction, blending blunt honesty with dark humor. He described the matchup as deliciously chaotic and warned that if Jake Paul actually steps into the ring with Joshua, it could be a one-sided affair. Chisora predicted that Joshua would need to establish his dominance fast, likely ending the fight within the first 3 rounds, making it a decisive statement against Paul.
I'm gonna go in there and do a job. I'm gonna want to hurt him. I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him, make him have a reality check in the ring. I need to knock him out.
I've never been knocked down or knocked out even in sparring. I know this is dangerous. If I take one of those punches that Francis Ngannou took and I'm on the canvas, let's see how tough I am. Let's see if I can get back up. He's gonna have to kill me to stop me, and I'm ready to die, seriously ready to die. He has to deal with me.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know, he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out.
Chisora also emphasized the high stakes for career respect, urging Joshua to stay sharp and avoid any mistakes that could leave him exposed. He pointed out that if Paul somehow managed a knockout, it would be a historic upset, the kind of shock the boxing world rarely witnesses. Still, Chisora's prediction was clear, Joshua dominating the fight and proving once again why he remains a true heavyweight powerhouse.
I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him, make him have a reality check in the ring. I need to knock him out.
I've never been knocked down or knocked out even in sparring. I know this is dangerous. If I take one of those punches that Francis Ngannou took and I'm on the canvas, let's see how tough I am. Let's see if I can get back up. He's gonna have to.
Then came Tyson Fury, offering a completely different perspective. Fury backed Jake Paul, arguing that Joshua has passed his prime and may no longer have the same fire to dominate. He suggested that Paul could realistically land a knockout, highlighting the risk Joshua faces after years at the top of the heavyweight division. Fury's prediction added a dramatic twist to the growing debate over the fight.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan has added fuel to the discussion with his own take. From his perspective, Paul made a mistake by adding a weight limit at all. Rogan believes Joshua would handle it with ease and wouldn't cut weight in a way that drained him. Instead, he thinks it would motivate Joshua to come in leaner, faster, and more dangerous. Rogan feels that the extra conditioning Joshua would do to meet the requirement would only make him a bigger threat. In his view, this isn't going to put Joshua at a disadvantage. It is going to sharpen him. Rogan has no doubt that Joshua would adapt and walk into the ring in stronger form.
Yeah, that's nothing. And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. You know, there's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him. Very upset that this YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer.
But then Conor McGregor steps in, and as always, his comments stir up the biggest reactions. McGregor has his own prediction for the fight, and it injects even more heat into the already blazing storyline. His take isn't subtle or cautious. He suggests something bold, something dramatic that intensified the ongoing saga around this matchup.
He's going to get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. So again, it's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. If he does it, I'll give him his respect for that.
Johnny Nelson noted that Jake Paul deserves credit for having the courage to step up against Anthony Joshua, but he also warned of the serious consequences. In his view, the spotlight is entirely on Joshua. He needs to demonstrate why Paul wouldn't last even 30 seconds in the ring with him. If Joshua allows Paul to hang around, he could face heavy criticism for underperforming.
The whole world is going to watch this. I respect him for the bravery he's going to show stepping in with Anthony Joshua, because you just think, I've looked at fights against Ngannou and I was watching his Pulev fight the other night. Why would you do that? So I've got to commend and respect Jake Paul for that. For AJ, this isn't about Jake Paul, this is about AJ. It's about AJ's mentality when he walks in. It's about his hunger when he walks in. It's about his professionalism when he walks in. So we're all going to be watching AJ, not Jake Paul. And that's where the criticism is going to be, because Jake Paul could get in the ring, fall over, bang his head and knock himself out. Fight's over. Whereas AJ, even if he gives Jake Paul 30 seconds success, he's going to get criticized.
Doubts have been raised about Jake Paul, but at the same time, this fight presents him with a chance to prove his critics wrong. Can he truly live up to the hype, or is he not as formidable as people think? Many are watching closely, seeing how this bout could give Paul a significant boost in his career. But if Joshua performs as expected and shows why he's one of the most powerful heavyweights in the world, the outcome could leave the entire boxing world in shock.
I don't think the money's a factor in it, not for him. I think he's got enough money where he's going for the glory. He believes he's got what it takes to win. Maybe there's stuff behind the scenes. Maybe he's significantly better than he's had to show. Maybe we're judging him on how many years was it? 3 years for the Tommy Fury fight. A lot can happen in 3 years. Maybe he's significantly better than everyone gives him credit.
I don't think Jake Paul's a YouTuber. I think he's a boxer. He's a domestic level fighter.
As the fight gets closer, more fighters are giving their opinions. Joshua Buatsi shared one of the more realistic predictions. He pointed out the huge difference in experience between the two. Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion with years of skill, while Paul is still learning and growing in the sport. On paper, it seems almost impossible for Paul to compete, but Buatsi also said boxing can be unpredictable. One mistake or one perfect punch can change everything. Even so, after thinking it through, he believes Joshua will likely win, probably early. It's not disrespect, it's just logic based on experience.
Someone said this to me today as well. They said, Josh, when you see a good fighter fighting, let's say, a mediocre fighter, and they get and it's not, and it's just one-sided, because you're like, oh, he's clearly the better man, and then you look at Paul, I don't know what his background is, and you look at AJ, two-time world heavyweight champion, so it looks like a mismatch on paper.
Buatsi's analysis adds a more technical view to the fight buildup. While others get caught up in emotions, he focuses on the basics. His prediction reflects what many analysts are thinking quietly. Joshua has more skill, more discipline, and more power than Paul can manage.
Boxing has taught me that 2 hands, 2 legs, if you get caught at the right time, you're gone. But I would put all my eggs in one basket and say AJ knocks him out early as well, you know.
I don't think it goes passed around. If AJ actually goes in there with mean intentions in one round and tries, it could go passed around if he gets behind his jab, has a look, has a little float around, and he's entitled to have a look if he wants for 2 rounds before he steps in range.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a mismatch, and until that first bell goes, I ain't too about this fight.
Apart from expert opinions, the fight has also raised serious questions about fighter safety. The size difference between Paul and Joshua sets up a rare situation in professional boxing. For the first time, Paul will be the smaller fighter, facing someone designed to deliver powerful, crushing blows. Until now, Paul's career has mostly been against smaller opponents in exhibition-style fights, where he could rely on his speed and reach to gain the advantage.
AJ's still relatively young and still relatively got something left in the tank, and he's only fought the world-class guys for the last 10 years. This would be Jake's not only hardest fight, most dangerous fight of his career. If Jake is doing this, it could signal the last one. I'm not even joking. This could signal Jake being like, I'm having one more of these and I'm out. Because where do you go from Anthony Joshua? We'll get into that part in a second, but the Netflix thing. We know that Anthony Joshua is an exclusive fighter to DAZN. Eddie Hearn has stated that multiple times. AJ, I'm pretty sure, even has a piece of DAZN. I could be wrong about that, but he signed a mega deal years ago with them. So for this fight to take place on Netflix,
taking on a real heavyweight like Joshua means Paul is entering extremely dangerous territory. This is the kind of mismatch that shows why weight classes exist in the first place.
I've got a problem with this one, because Anthony Joshua is a two-time world champion. Jake Paul's a YouTuber and doesn't deserve the right to be in a ring with Anthony
Well, don't buy the fight then.
It's dangerous. I think it's a dangerous fight. We saw what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. This is a fight.
I know, but what I'm
People
saying
are going in there, their health is at risk.
But the only reason they're
put
doing
someone in there in a ring.
I know, Jay.
And you say the only reason we're doing it is for money. That don't sit right with me.
Fine, then don't buy it.
We've seen boxers die who got punched in the face. Fine. You want to make some money, Eddie Hearn, all that matchroom, they're going to make a fortune, right? Fine. Jake Paul's going to make a fortune. Anthony Joshua makes a fortune. I'm worried for Jake Paul getting seriously hurt. You are putting an amateur boxer in a ring with a two-time world champion.
The physics of the fight make the danger even more obvious. A 252-pound heavyweight like Joshua produces much more force in a punch than a 199-pound fighter can. A solid right hand from Joshua could have effects beyond what most casual fans realize.
I don't know if you've seen but this fight's in the works, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. As a Brit, how do you evaluate?
I've just seen that. Someone just told me about that. That's mad. Fair play to Jake Paul, first of all, for taking it. But if AJ doesn't knock him out in like 1-2 rounds, then I feel like the fight must be fixed or something. Because I'm going to Anthony Joshua, obviously, for the KO. So yeah, when is it? You know?
It's going to be next month. They're working towards.
Oh yeah, sick. Yeah, I'm going AJ for the win.
Cheers.
That's our full breakdown of the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, from Francis Ngannou's shocking insights and Darren Till's warnings to Tyson Fury backing Paul and experts predicting Joshua's dominance. We've explored the drama, the stakes, and the real dangers behind this fight, giving you a complete picture of why this bout is capturing the boxing world's attention. Whether it's Paul stepping up against a true heavyweight or Joshua proving his power once again, the excitement and controversy make this fight one fans won't want to miss. If you loved this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe to Ring Rivalry, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest fight updates, predictions, and behind-the-scenes insights from the world of combat sports. Tell us in the comments, who do you think will come out on top, Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua?